guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we are on our most current deck project and just wanted to run you through what we've got done this week so far. We appreciate you watching our videos, so if you like something you see today, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. All right, so basically what we have here, the old decks used to pretty much cover up these two concrete slabs, and then there was like a 4-foot walkway between the two decks. So what we did is we completely demolished all that and got that out of here. We brought in our mini skid steer ditch witch and with our helical pile driver, and we drove helical piles like these down here into all the various locations. And we did that yesterday and sprung a leak in our machine, unfortunately. But we got the helical pile set, which was the important thing, and then we'll get that under repairs. We cleaned up the side of the house. We applied G-tape to all existing areas that are exposed, and that will have ledger boards attached to the house. So there's a waterproof membrane tape there. And now we are getting ready to set elevation and get all of our post placement done. So that's what we're doing right now. It's worth the trip to go find out. I'm gonna go see it right now.
Slide that on there.
All right, Max. Thanks, brother. See you. Bye. All right. All right. We have a problem. My vendor that I buy my helical piles from, somehow they shipped 6-inch bases. They're true 6-inch bases. They're not 5.5-inch bases. So we were gonna have to put a 1/2-inch shim in here. But I have some other bases at my house that they think will interconnect. So unfortunately for me, I gotta run back to my place and go grab 7 of these other universal tops that are 5.5 inches. That way we don't have to have an ugly shim. Come here and I'll show you. This post base is wider than the post by 1/2 inch. And it's just not real conducive for quality look. There's nothing wrong with it. Structurally, it's fine, but I don't like the way it looks. So it's gonna be worth my trip. It's gonna take me about an hour to leave, go get those, come back, and then set the ones that are the proper width. So I'm gonna go do that. The guys have something else to do. They're gonna cut all my posts to height, and then they're going to start grading out some framing. So that's what they're gonna do while I'm off doing this. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.
What is it you're doing?
Cleaning the crap off the carbide, which can sometimes make the blade back to sharp again. A lot of times people think they got a dull blade, but it's all the gum from cutting too much stuff stuck on the blade. Another trick you can do is just take it off and soak it in like some Dawn soap overnight and wash it off. But I'm just trying to do it quick and dirty with some brake clean.
What is it?
Brake clean. It's just a solvent.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm justifying the elevation of our posts. We have our post bases. The new post bases that I went and got are set in place. We have to re-justify grade, but at least we still have our laser set up. So all I have to do now is find the laser line from here, mark it on this stick, and then we can figure out our lengths, our heights. So I'm just taking this receiver until it does a solid beep. There we go. And I'm just putting a small little mark on my elevation stick. So what we have is we know what the elevation is from the laser to the top of the ledger board. We just have to figure out what the balance is and add those two measurements together, and that's the elevation of our post, or the length of our post. Right now I am doing a layout on my ledger. I've calculated how wide I want to make each section of the deck, and I have a 20-foot deck, but I'm going to make it 19 foot 6 inches wide. So I have a little bit of cutoff for my ends on the deck boards because they're 20-foot deck boards. And now I'm doing a layout 15.5 inches on center because that's what equally works out for this particular layout. So I'm going to mark all that out. Then I'm going to identify where we need to put our ledger locks by Fasten Master. I'm going to pre-install those so that we can just take this board up to the side of the house and install it once I have this figured out. Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we are doing my namesake, the name of my business. We are laying decking. Today we're laying down some TimberTech AZEK dark hickory. This entire project is all dark hickory, so all the trim, all the stair risers, everything's all the same color. So as you can see, we've just gotten started. We're using the Fasten Master 5-shot hidden clip system. All right guys, so I wanted to go kind of review what we've done so far this week on the project. So basically, I think we were just setting posts the last time we saw you. So after the posts were set, we drove our helical piles, we set in our posts, and then we installed our 6x12 beams, which support 2x10 joists. So we installed the beams. We also installed a 2x10 ledger onto the house, as you can see here, and that's fastened every 7 inches with Fasten Master ledger locks. Once we had the elevation set, we added some flashing that went underneath the siding and over. It's called Z-metal, and the Z-metal goes over the top of the ledger board so no moisture can get behind the ledger and rot out the wall. So once we set that, then we installed 2x10 joists about every 15.5 inches on center. As long as we're less than 16, we're good to run AZEK decking. So I think we're 15.5 on here. And we also added some V-bracing. And what V-bracing does is it keeps the deck from moving back and forth. It locks everything together. I'm a firm believer in it. There's other methods. Some people use corbel supports, which are like 45-degree braces from the post up to the beam. In my opinion, those don't work quite as well as V-bracing does. You just got to make sure you're using a construction rated lag, and it has to be 4 inches long, and you have to be going through a 2x6. That's what my engineer calls out for. And then you screw that, you double that up into every joist, and then it really locks the frame together so that it doesn't move back and forth. I've been on so many decks that I can actually feel it swaying. So this eliminates sway. Once we had all the joists ran, and we actually, what we did is we framed this deck and the far deck up first, and then we framed the center section of the deck up afterwards. And that is hung, the joists are hung in between the ledger board and the beam. We brought the beam up to elevation so that it's more flush with the rest of the deck there. Then after that, we framed a little landing on the far end of the deck, and then we framed in a set of stairs that go from the landing all the way to the ground, and there's 15 rises. We added mid-span support for that with 6x6 posts that go all the way to the ground, and then we put the far end of the staircase in two holes. We dug 2 holes and sunk those in concrete with 4x6s that we attached to the bottom of the staircase. So that kind of completes the frame of the staircase. And now we're starting to install our TimberTech AZEK decking. Now that our frame is complete, we're starting to install our TimberTech AZEK decking with the Fasten Master Fusion Lock guns. So that's what we're up to at the moment, and we're just going to keep working on that until the end of the day.
They were great cars because of that.
right, so we have about 10 feet, 10 and a half feet of the deck laid, and we're to the point where we have to cut all the ends of the joists off, and then we can add our outside rim joist, add some blocking for railing, and then we can finish out the rest of our deck. So that's what we're doing right now. Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Welcome to our channel. Thank you for coming and watching our videos. We really appreciate it. All right, so this is our end of week video. Kind of wraps up all of our activities for the week, and it's like a build update and just a progress report of what we've done over the last 5 days. So basically, we're almost done with this deck. We have a little bit of trim left to do. We are working on our staircase railing right now. We have the frame in, the posts are in, the top and bottom rails are in, and now we're just starting to set the pickets in place and the spacers. This is a railing product made by a company called Regal Ideas. They have high quality aluminum hand railing and glass railings. Another cool product you've probably seen in some of our other videos is a product called Crystal Rail. It's my absolute love. I love Crystal Rail. All right, but we don't have Crystal Rail on this deck. What we have on this deck is the Regal Ideas picket railing, which is a very handsome, solid, sturdy picket railing. The guys are just about buttoned up with it, but let's go up and take a look at that and what else we've accomplished this week. Come on. All right, so basically, I think the last time you caught us, is that better? We were basically laying this deck right here. We had part of it done and we ran out of time, and that was the end of our weekly update. So since then, we have installed all of the TimberTech AZEK dark hickory decking. This entire deck is all one color. It's all dark hickory. And I gotta admit, I love the way it looks. I think this is a really handsome look. In a backyard that doesn't get a lot of sun, this is the perfect decking. And okay, so let's do it. We're gonna do a test right now. I'm gonna take my shoes and socks off, and I'm gonna go over here and stand on this and see how warm it is, okay? You want me to do that? All right. It's gonna be 90 degrees today. It's not that hot, but it's not late in the day. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, but I could stand on this all day. Or at least at this temperature I can. So I would say the dark hickory is warm, but it's not so I can't stand on it. So just for all you guys asking out there, it may get hot when it's 100 degrees and it's 5 p.m. You may not be able to walk on it, but right now, I'm good to go. All right, so I'm glad I could answer your questions on that. So then what we did was we got this deck installed, then we started installing the center deck. We installed the center deck, and then we added a couple of surface borders where all the decking kind of butts together. So that's what these are right here. So this is a controlled break in the deck where all the decking can expand and contract. That's what these surface borders do, is they provide a nice clean break in the deck. So we can run 20-foot boards, and then some 16-foot boards, and then 20-foot boards again. So we gap it accordingly. So we're running a 3/16 inch gap in this decking. So we ran a 3/16 gap between the deck boards and the surface border, so it has a nice clean look, okay? Once that was done, we finished our far deck over there, and then once all the decking was laid, we trimmed it all up with a track saw, filed all the edges, and then we started wrapping the deck with some fascia. Now, right now, because of current times, we couldn't get any solid 5.5 inch wide planks to match the surface of the deck. So we went with a 7 1/4 inch multi-width solid plank as our upper layer of fascia. And then we took and ripped down smaller pieces of their TimberTech's AZEX fascia board, and we ripped those down to whatever width we needed, and then we wrapped the bottom of it. So we have a staggered fascia look. So I really like the way that looks. I like to add a little bit of dimension to my decks. So like instead of having one wide piece of fascia, we kind of double down and stagger things. What's cool about that is the upper section of the fascia has Fasten Master Cortex fasteners in it. So basically all the upper fascia of the deck's hidden fasten, and then we have just a few screws that you can see on our bottom piece of fascia. It's too thin to use Cortex, so we just use some stainless steel color match screws instead. All right guys, so basically the upper deck is done now. This is Wriggle Ideas textured black aluminum picket railing. And it's really easy to install, it's very sturdy, and it's really handsome. It looks really great for multiple years. I like using dark colors in my railing because you can look through it. If I did this railing in white, your eyes would stop and all you would see would be the railing. But because we used black, even from inside the house and on your deck, you can actually enjoy the yard and see the trees and see the pathway and the birds and the bees and the squirrels and the chipmunks. Catch my drift? Yeah. So it's a very sturdy rail. This one is 36 inches tall. They also make a 42-inch version, and they also make this so you can put glass inserts in it instead of pickets if that's what floats your boat, if that's what you want. So for as far as budget, this is probably your best price product that I like on the market that's low maintenance, where you don't have to paint and stain it or anything like that. This deck is very low maintenance. You might have to clean it once a year and occasionally clean this tree sap off of it, which hand sanitizer works pretty good for that, we've come to find out. Just a quick tip for you. So basically all that we have left to do now is just finish the railing on the staircase, and there's a little bit of fascia left on the outside of that we need to button up, and then this deck will be complete. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw today, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Don't forget to like our videos and give us a comment below if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just want to tell us how much you like our page and that you click subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.